Today we're going to make Angel Biscuits with
maple bacon butter.
doesn't that sound good?
Yes.
So we're going to take you back and show you how it's done.
We're starting off with 5 cups of all-purpose flour.
Then we're going to add
1/4 cup of sugar.
And then
1 teaspoon of salt.
2 teaspoons of baking powder.
And 1 teaspoon of baking soda.
And we just combine them all in here, and we're going to sprinkle that in. And whisk that all together till it's combined. Get all those dry ingredients done. And then we got some cold butter.
Butter, yes. 2 sticks of butter.
Cubed. And we're going to take our pastry blender and we're just going to blend that into the flour. And it's the best you can. If you got a blender fork, you could do that. But you may have to get your hands in there and break up some of that cold butter. But you want it to be like pea size.
Yeah, I got a feeling you're going to do that.
Yep. So I'll do that. And then I don't want to forget to add in our
shortening.
And this is...
I have a cup of shortening.
We're going to put that in there too. And that's going to help keep these biscuits nice and moist too.
Mm-hmm.
So then I'm going to take that blender and work that into the flour too. Make sure it gets all mixed in, and that, like I said, you might have to use your hands and really get in there and get a pea size. Then
2 packets of yeast.
And this is the instant yeast. So we warmed up in the microwave about 3 tablespoons of water. And you don't want it too hot. The water temperature needs to be about 105 degrees so it doesn't kill the yeast. So we're going to check it.
Yeah, check it. See? Look at that.
See, Sheila blew on it, so we're okay now.
Yeah.
All right.
It's working.
We're going to pour that right in.
Yeah.
And we're going to mix up that yeast with that water and make a little paste here.
See how well that's going?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll get nice and thick like that. Once we get all that mixed together, we're going to be taking
2 cups of buttermilk.
This is cold buttermilk that we just got out of the fridge there. Almost forgot that buttermilk again. I do that a lot.
Gotta have the buttermilk.
And
It's got butter in it.
That's right. This whole buttermilk. And then we're going to take our yeast and we're going to add that right into that buttermilk. If I get my hand to work here.
This way. No, that way.
No, that way. This way, that way. Well, I'm trying not to block the view. And I'm going to mix that in really good to that buttermilk.
Not too many people that don't like biscuits.
Yeah. So we'll take our dry ingredients and we're going to pour that buttermilk. So we're going to fold that in to the flour until we get it completely mixed up. And it is going to be a sticky consistency. And eventually here, I'm going to have to leave this little spatula behind and start using my hands.
Yes. There you go.
Get in there and work that flour and that biscuit mixture. So once we get that mixing, I'm going to try, you'll see you kind of make it like a little ball here. When it gets to that consistency, then we're ready to go. So that's what it should look like. So I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to get my little station here cleaned up a little bit.
And now we're going to put out some flour.
And just spread that right on the board there so it doesn't stick to the bottom. And we're just going to tear off a big old chunk of this. Make ourselves a nice ball. And then just press down. Try to get it as even as possible, about 1 inch thick. It's messy, but it's going to be worth it.
Oh, yes.
So once we get that about 1 inch thick, we're going to take a 2-inch cutter tool. We got our skillet over here, pre-seasoned and greased, everything ready to go. And we're going to just take those and place them right into that skillet.
Right up against each other.
Yep. And the good thing about this, or one thing about this recipe, is as you put them tightly together, it's going to help when they rise. They're going to rise tall. So they're a taller biscuit than your regular biscuits. But wait until you try them. They're so good. So we'll just dip it in that flour so it doesn't stick to my cutter tool here. And we'll just keep on making these until this entire skillet is
totally full.
Totally full. Now, this is going to actually make a little bit more than what can fit in this particular skillet. And I think this is like a 12-inch skillet. So, if you had a bigger skillet, they might all fit. But if not, you can just get yourself another little side skillet or pan and put them in there for some extra biscuits. But they're not going to rise they're not going to rise as tall because they're not pushed together like that. So just know that they're going to be a lot larger biscuits, even though you're using this 2-inch cutter tool. So we'll just keep on filling up this skillet. It makes you hungry, don't it?
It does. I am ready.
Sheila's just mesmerized by the the cutting of the biscuits. She's like,
that was like a hubcap.
Yeah, a hubcap.
And you got those ends of it.
Yeah. So we got those extra ones in a side skillet, but they're all in there ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we're going to do is take some saran wrap, and we're just going to cover that and seal over the top of it. And I'm going to just put these in my oven. The oven is not on, but it's still warm in there. And you just want to put these in a warm spot so that they can rise. And we'll do the same on this other little skillet over here. Tear off one for over that one. And we'll cover that. And we're going to just set these in that oven and let them rise for about an hour. But meanwhile, while those are in there rising, we're going to make our maple bacon butter.
Okay.
Wait till you taste this. So we fried up some bacon. So we got a couple pieces of bacon here.
Real crispy.
Oh, yeah. You can do it however you want, but crispy's better to me for this particular thing. Kind of medium crispy. There's variations of cooking with bacon.
Like raw and burnt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got a whole stick of butter in there that's softened. And put that bacon in there. And then we're going to add 2 tablespoons
of maple syrup.
And this is real maple syrup. You know how adamant Steve was about maple syrup.
Oh, he loved it.
He wanted the real deal. He's like, don't buy none of that generic stuff. You make sure you buy the real
Yeah,
thing.
especially butter. Don't get any of that pitty-patter poisoning.
Pitty-patter poisoning. Yeah, you want a real butter and real maple syrup.
Don't get none of that margarine. It's pitty-patter.
So we got that all mixed together, and we're going to set that aside. So it's been a little over an hour, and those biscuits have risen. And so we uncovered them, and we preheated our oven to 400 degrees. And we are going to put those biscuits in there for about 16 minutes. Get nice and golden brown.
Look how hot it is.
Look at them. And so we're going to pull it out here and baste a little butter on top. Just a little bit so it gets a little brown. Like, you gotta have some butter on your biscuits. So we're just gonna baste the tops of these, and we're gonna put it back in the oven for about a minute. Just long enough to let them get gold and brown. Look at that. Perfect biscuits. Delicious.
Look how yummy.
So we're going to take those out. Look at that. Got some bacon and our biscuits and our maple bacon butter. Doesn't that look good?
So really good.
And those are so tender. These biscuits are, they're so moist on the inside, guys. Look at this. Check this out. Yum. Slather some of that maple bacon butter on there. Delicious. Are these the best Angel Biscuits with maple bacon butter you've ever tried? If it ain't, it ought to be. We'll see you next time right here on Cooking with Shotgun Red. Bye. Yay!
Maple bacon butter.
Well, that's She and Jen, them 2 girls having too much fun. We hope you enjoy this recipe, and we really hope you subscribe to our channel. That's easy. Little Shotgun Red's face will pop up over here in a little bit. When you click on it, it'll say subscribe, then you're subscribed. Next to it will be a little notification bell. If you click that little bell, then YouTube will send you every single one of our recipes or a notification that we posted one as soon as it comes out. See you next time right here on Cooking with Shotgun Red. Is this the best? If it ain't, it ought to be.